If you want to get inside one of Europe's largest employer branding conferences, then come and join me at EBCon in Bucharest. Hi, I'm Chris LeCount-Harbert, host of Employer Content Marketing, and I was invited to speak at EBCon about employer content creation. I also got to chat with some of my fellow speakers about some really interesting topics. So let's get behind the scenes at EBCon. So yeah, it's been a great morning at EBCon, and we've had quite a few conversations really. I think obviously AI came up as a big piece. I think I've said this before, but often people go, "Oh, not AI again," but it's such an important conversation to have, and it's really good actually in this region to see employee advocacy come up as well, because that's another absolutely crucial conversation I'm seeing more than being had. Not seeing employees as just these people that can just take your sales messages and just share your assets, but actually people who can really embrace their brand and their experience and actually shout about the organisation, which is fantastic. Also, I was a big fan of Marcus's strategy talk as well. So look, we're going to be talking with a few of them hopefully at the next break time. But in the meantime, looking forward to getting onto stage and chatting with Hans about the lean guide to in-house employee content creation. So let's get going.
Start filming, start creating content.
We are still working on communication. We are still working on separating the norms of behaviors. So this is in a nutshell how our program is structured.
And you've been a bit unsure about employer branding.
Does that sound good? Yeah. Cool. Okay. Right. So let's go. Yeah. Let's go over to. We're just going to head off to the just to the busy part. Looking forward to chatting to this guy in a few minutes. Yeah, and it's been great to see you today.
Same.
You must be tired.
I'm full of energy actually. This gives me energy. Yeah.
So for you, you're on stage with all the speakers. What do you think of the day, and kind of what's going to be your kind of takeaways from it?
One thing is a lot of variety actually, with the internal perspective, but also the externals. Just keeping the employees you have, but also attracting the new ones. Strategy, activation, AI. It just shows that employer branding. If you go back 10 years, it was all about talent acquisition, or not talent acquisition, but attracting employees.
Yes.
So it's much richer, it's much more strategic. So that shows that employer branding has come a long way.
Definitely, it makes it a lot more interesting, I think. And I think maybe people are seeing a lot more conversation around employee advocacy over the last 18 to 24 months.
Oh yeah.
I love that inside out approach, and actually people are understanding that, not only is it going to help people attract people externally, but if you do this right, maybe people might stay more. It's going to save a lot of pain and money, isn't it?
I think it boosts pride. You see, I'm working alongside these great, fantastic people who are showcasing that in social media or wherever. I definitely think it increases, internal pride, but it can also increase retention, I think. Because we were talking about previously, having your own employees, being out there talking about, they really care about your employer, or the excellent projects or technology they're working on. That will probably, I think, increase their willingness to stay.
Do you get a sense of key themes or kind of challenges that the people in the audience are kind of trying to get their head around?
There were quite a lot of questions that were kind of on how to actually implement this towards the management, because most of them weren't HR. Some of them had other functions, fine, but there were quite a lot of questions about, okay, sure, we know this, but how do we get buy-in?
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of HR and employer branding specialists are struggling with to make employer branding as relevant as it should be, or at least as we think it should be.
Yes, absolutely. There's been a lot of talk in the UK around ROI. It's not only the UK, but I've noticed it a lot at conferences and on LinkedIn where actually talking like a business owner, talking like somebody that this is literally costing us this amount of money every day we don't have this position filled.
I mean, the people you don't get, but also the people you lose, definitely. And I think that's quite important for HR professionals to start talking the language that the CEO and the CFO care about, and that is money.
Yes.
Show how does employer branding pay off? And perhaps a bit controversial, but if you as an HR professional, an employer branding professional, think that people come first, you're not going to have much of a run. I'm sorry, people do not come first. Business comes first through people.
Like, it's
But
true.
if you cling to this idea that, but look at Richard Branson who says, take care of the inside and the inside will take care of the outside. I'm sorry, Richard Branson did not establish Virgin to create a great place to work. He wanted to create the best frickin' airline out there through people. But that order is quite important. If you don't understand that, if you want to work with employer branding and HR because you love people, become a psychologist or something.
But
come on, this is about business.
If you don't connect it to the bottom line, then it's you're not
interested. You're not
gonna
relevant.
make progress. Yeah, absolutely.
No, definitely.
Well, look, let's definitely continue the chat when we get to the restaurant, have a few drinks. Looking forward to experimenting the cultural delights of Bucharest.
Me too. Definitely. Looking forward.
Okay. Right, good man. Thank you. Loved your talk today. It's really necessary conversation about AI. I think sometimes people go, oh, not AI again, but it's really important. Yeah. So tell us a bit about your talk.
All right. So yes, every conference has an AI blog, but if you understand what is the new equation in terms of AI and human cooperation, it has really huge potential. And today we already have some really good case studies, not only in the candidate experience phase, but in the employee experience phase as well, which is a bit more difficult, but a lot of potentials are there.
What would be your advice to somebody who's kind of apprehensive about starting their AI journey?
Right. So the first one is the approach. So we usually say that use AI like your intern and not your creative director. If you want to find your real creativity, this is in your brain. If you want to copy something or just scale up, AI is a good intern, but you have to ask AI the right questions to help you save you time. And this was the main idea. So AI is your intern and not your creative director, but it seems like an addition. So AI plus human. AI is your assistant, but now we see that everything is completely changing. So the new equation is AI X human. So it's a multiplication tool, and if you use that way, it has much more potentials than just adding AI as an assistant.
Okay, well look, it's been good to chat. Thanks very much.
Is that a microphone?
Yeah. There we go. We're working. We're rolling. All right. Good to see you. It's good to see you on stage. And what for you? What was the kind of the key point of view or the key theme that you wanted to get across today?
I was invited in this session about well-being.
Nice.
So I always like to go one step deeper, like well-being, it sort of sticks in this field of interest, it sticks in attributes like sports or ping pong tables, stuff like that. We're talking about well-being. But I like to sort of getting deeper in but the being. Is the
I like that you said that,
the real who are you? And I feel this is for me a big trend also in our fields, like can we help people find themselves as soon as possible who they really are and where they should be? Because too many people are wrongly staged, wrongly fighting to get their passion, to get their energy. And so, one of my quotes is get leadership training as soon as possible for everybody in the organization.
Yes.
Help them find who they are.
Yes.
And the aspect of psychological safety today also being addressed, really interesting. Because that's the way you must try to humanize organizations. And because to thrive in this complex world, you need to stand
It's true.
on two legs, which are yours and not the other ones.
It's true, actually. I think, yeah, for me, it's if you don't have that psychological safety, and if you're not really looking at the individual being like truly happy and in their flow, then you don't have creativity, you don't have innovation, you don't have a. There is work-life balance, but work-life balance suggests you just leave work at the door when you go home. It's part of you, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it's yin yang. Work is your life, and life is your work.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So and the more you can be who you are, I used to work at Randstad a little while, and they had a beautiful slogan like "Become who you are," and that's in the end is fulfillment, and that's the biggest promise any corporation can make. Is like help people to fulfill themselves to become who they are.
I love that. Become who you are. That's like really like massive on self-realization,
That's the
isn't
biggest
it?
promise is learn how you who you are, and so you live your life and not other one's lives. And that's a main source of discontent. And if we lived Donald Trump's life, I wouldn't hope you would.
So you're staying? Are you staying for the after conference meal and the drinks?
We are going to
Okay.
have a nice
Right.
meal right here.
So we're going to have that,
More.
and we're going to talk a bit more, definitely.
Definitely,
But thanks very much.
Thank
Cheers.
you. Thank you for
Marcus, your talk today, talking about strategy. Tell us a bit about that.
So I think an awful lot of people feel the pressure to get on with things, and they create a plan, and they never have that moment to step back and go, yeah, but what am I supposed to be achieving for my business? What's the big picture? What's the strategy? So hopefully it was an opportunity for people just to have a step back and think, what is it that my business really wants to achieve with the employer brand? Are we trying to look like a better employer? Are we trying to be more visible? Are we trying to increase the quality of people we're hiring? Because actually we all tend to think we're trying to achieve the same things, and you're not. Like every client I've worked with has had a slightly different objective, and therefore should be doing slightly different things. And it's useful to just stop and think, why am I doing what I'm doing? What's the point of it? What does the business want? What would make the CEO very happy with me? So
Actually, that's really interesting because is that finding the right time to slow down. Because often when organisations want to move quickly, they're quick at the wrong time.
absolutely. No, it's comes from all the right places. It's that enthusiasm to achieve something means people kind of dive into doing something without stopping for a second and going, was there a different way I could have achieved that thing? Was there a cheaper way, a faster way, a way that aligns with something else that the business is doing? And it can be really helpful to just take a beat, stop and go, is there an alternative? And sometimes there isn't, and your original idea is the right one, brilliant. You can go into it with more confidence that you've chosen the right thing, but sometimes you go, I don't have to do it that way, do I? I could do it this way. And it's really difficult to do that when you've got people asking you, hey, can you do this? Or I've got this brilliant idea, or we need to get that website built, and there's always a pressure to do things, and sometimes it's better to just stop and have a quick think before you do that.
Yeah, good shout. And I liked your shout out to Alice in Wonderland as well.
Absolutely. I always use the Cheshire Cat as a great example of a strategist. I mean, he's possibly a little bit of a bolshy attitude as a strategist, but he does ask the right questions. Where are you trying to get to? What are you trying to achieve? If you don't ask those questions, you could easily end up charging off in the wrong direction very, very fast. So he's a good strategist.
Good stuff. Right, thanks a lot. Very good. So we're getting to the end of the conference today. I think we've got one more session left, and Payam did his Be Real talk. Yeah, really good. So I'm keen to get some conversation with him either around here or later on in the meal, definitely after the conference. I think what I really liked about what I want to talk to him about is very much around this thing about talking around topics rather than trying to cram in lots of topics and messages into one place. And that kind of a unscripted approach really resonates with me, definitely, because when you're just letting people talk, then those conversations are full of rich clips, and those clips are really important. As I think with the work he's done with Zeiss, 200 pieces of content from a shoot they did, and as he rightly said, and I touched on this as well, is about you need a lot of content to kind of stay front of mind. So it's super looking forward to chatting with them. Of course, it'd be wrong not to talk about Caddy Pole from Bolt and her talk. She was nervous to start with, or she was nervous leading up to it, but I thought she was fantastic. She had nothing to worry about. Talking about how when everyone zigs, they zag, and doing things differently, I think is really good. And I love the fact that they produced a video for like zero budget, just using an iPhone. And the amount of impressions they got from that was fantastic. But also, there's also a time for the higher production work. So the Great Grandma campaign, which you'll definitely make sure a link to that is somewhere near this video. That Grandma campaign, which is explaining your job as a tech person to your grandma, and really tapping into the strong cultural message from the region was fantastic. Made us all chuckle, and it worked. So I really like what she talked about. So I'll hopefully get a conversation with her today. If not, then I'll definitely get onto the podcast at some point in the next few weeks. It's great to see you on stage again. Let's talk about corporate fluff. What is it about corporate fluff?
Corporate fluff is
BS
just,
as well.
yeah, it's talking corporate, like trying to be too professional about it, not being a human being, being like your own personality, like thinking that you have to say things in a certain way and not really conversating as a human being. But I try not to talk about that too much, but try to inspire more. But they needed a catchy headline, so I was like, all right, let's do that.
But what is it? What is it that does put you a big smile on your face when you do what you do? I mean, you show some examples up on stage, and you clearly love doing that. So what is it about it?
I just love to give great people and great stories a platform to shine as inspirational as possible, because I think work life is so underrated and uninspired sometimes, right? It's mostly about stuff that is not so interesting. I mean, we know so much about, those great personalities, those stars, those big time, I don't know, famous people, right? Also in the business world, we read their books, we watch their podcasts, but what about all the people in the background, like working at amazing companies that do amazing stuff, having a huge impact, either in their own surrounding or on the world around us, right? But we don't know what it is that they do it, how they do it, why they do it, and so much, there's so many things to talk about there. So I love being able to talk to those people that are, they love what they do and are able to inspire other people out there. So, yeah.
I love what you say about organisations like addiction to trying to cram in loads of topics and loads of messages into one. It reminds me of a quote that I probably won't get quite right, but is of all the parks and all the cities, you'll see no statues of committees. There's this thing about actually people are trying to cram a piece of content with so many messages because they're afraid of missing out on something, but by doing it, they say absolutely nothing.
Problem is, I mean, it's kind of, I can understand why they cramp so many messages into one video, because they don't get to produce that many videos. They only have like a couple, 3, 4, 5, let's say even 10 videos.
Yeah.
That's not enough. So our approach of doing like one topic at a time only makes sense when you have the chance to send out 50 videos, right? So, but when you only have one chance to produce a video, like a company video, you're gonna have to put everything in there. And that's what we do with the trailers also, right? It's not like we don't do that. It's good to have one video where like the culture is really, the what, how, and why is felt, right? But the really interesting stuff is not in there. The really interesting stuff is when you're going deep about one topic at a time, one story at a time, right? So I don't blame them, but there's different ways of doing it.
Yeah, and look, doing it your way is great. We take this similar approach as well. Is actually by focusing on those topics, you get so much more content. And actually, I think maybe what stops organisations doing that is they perceive that being that much more expensive. Of course, there's a value to it, isn't there? But I think if you're asking the questions in the right way and focusing on it topic related, then automatically you're going to get so much more content from it.
And we're not the one inventing it. Like,
no,
that's how
it's true.
podcasts get clipped all the time.
Yes.
What we do is actually, a little cooler way maybe, or more branding kind of way of clipping the videos, right? There's a lot of editing in there, so it's a lot of work.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we do 3-hour conversations, and out of those come 5 to 12 or even 20 videos per person, right? And I know where I want to take them to, but they don't know it. So for them it feels like a conversation, but I have in the back of my mind, like, all right, I want to talk about these topics. And sometimes I even get surprised, and we go places where we didn't even intend it to. But it's not that we invented it. It's podcasts have been doing that for
It's true.
quite
It's so
some time
true.
now,
It's so
right?
true. Good man.
Yeah, man. That was it?
Do you want to talk about something
we
else?
need to go for another half an hour. He's got strong arms. Look at him.
He's got the answer for it. What else should we talk about then? Let's,
No, I'm just saying.
I'm more happy to chat longer, but
We need to make content out of this, man. Content. Different topic.
Exactly. Look, we'll do some more later on, but we get some food in.
Yeah,
stuff
let's
like
do that. I haven't
definitely,
had dinner at lunch yet.
That's good. I say when I was in Belgrade, I was like high-fiving you, man.
Thank you, man.
Love
For
it.
taking the time to talk
the
to me.
industry fucking needs it, really. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, people, we need it.
So, right, coming to the end of a long day.
Fine,
Still
it's been-
smiling though.
I am.
It's good.
I'm starting to get relaxed, because it's been like, especially the past 3 days, it's insane. And I'm always, you were asking me earlier, is it worth it? Is it worth doing this? But yeah, it gets so tiring. But seeing the keynotes and seeing you guys up there on the stage and everyone being happy and having a full room, even though it's like almost 5, that's brilliant. That's really cool. And before the event, I'm always thinking, why am I doing this? What's the point? Why am I getting myself so tired? And but right now, seeing everything go together and right now finishing the event, it's just brilliant. Have you had fun?
Yeah, it's great. I think this is a good example of where if you're going to do in-person events, you've got to make them worthwhile. And this is, I love the fact you've got the round tables instead of typical rows of seats. It just encourages a lot more collaboration, I think, and it's good. Hans has also brought some good energy to the room and nice variety of conversations. And I think that's why it's good to do things like this. Is just a classic thing. It's continue the conversation afterwards. It's good. Bring on the next one.
But this is the thing. What we're trying to do, even with Hans, have someone external as well, international, just direct the event and being our MC. And most of you guys are still international. You from the UK and Marcus and everyone else in the event. And we got a nice mix in terms of participants. We got like 20 to 25% from other countries, and the rest are from Romania and Moldova. So we're trying to keep as international as we can.
That's good. I think what I'm looking forward to now is after it, let's go and get some traditional Romanian cuisine.
Yeah, and get some Romanian drinks as well.
A few drinks. I was going to say.
Romanian drinks as well. Yeah. But
thanks for organising, man.
Thank you so much, man.
Appreciate it.